All right. So obviously, you guys know I'm a new channel, so I obviously wasn't active when Brave New World came out back in February. So here I am now, wanting to talk about the movie after not being in the box office for a while, after all the hype for the movie of making it seem like it sucks worse than anything ever has gone over the drain. All the grifters doing everything they could to make sure the movie was hated, sure, whatever. But now here we are, months down the road, and I'm seeing a lot more people turn around on Brave New World. And I am honestly going to sit here and say, I still think Brave New World is just kind of a movie, but I do think Brave New World is a lot better than what people say. Like, I've been seeing people like, oh, it's worse than Ragnarok. I mean, not worse than Ragnarok, worse than Love and Thunder, worse than Eternals, worse than like some of the worst MCU movies out there. And honestly, it's not worse than those. It's honestly more solid than people want to give it credit to. Now, I have my gripes with the film, but I'm not going to sit here and say Brave New World is like the worst MCU movie. And I for damn sure am not going to say that Brave New World is one of the best MCU movies. I know a lot of people who say it's like their second favorite cat movie, and I'm like, I love the first three too much to say that, but I do really like Brave New World. As far as Sam's characterization, as far as Ross's characterization, which are two really great performances by Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford. I even like his sidekick. I can't remember the boy name. I never do. I feel bad, but he was interesting. Not really big on the Black Widow esque chick. Just felt like she didn't really need to be there. But sure, Carl Lumbly's always great, just like he was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The leader was hit and miss. Like I like that he was involved, and I feel like, but I also feel like they kind of wasted Tim Blake Nelson, who's like goaded. But yeah. So honestly, I'm okay with the idea. I mean, honestly, I feel like it's Winter Soldier, but just not as good. Like a lot of same things happen in this movie that happened in Winter Soldier, but just not to the same effect. Like, sneaking into a base somewhere, them having a woman running around with them. That's kind of Black Widow esque, but not as cool. Surprise villain. Oh my God. It's like, oh, there's this inner circle thing going on that nobody knows about, but now it's getting exposed and all this other stuff, and everything's bigger than you and all that stuff. I do think of people who are like, "Oh, it ruined Sam Wilson," are just mad because Captain America is a black man. Honestly, this is how I look at it. Because I personally think it succeeded Sam's character even more to where when he shows up in the Avengers movies, it's believable that he's Captain America. Like I remember when Endgame first happened, and everyone's like, "Oh, why didn't Bucky get the shield?" It wouldn't have made sense. Even though I did hear they promised Sebastian Stan he would be Captain America, but the way they did Bucky and the way they worked Bucky in, it just wouldn't have made sense for Bucky to be Captain America. Like in the comics, yeah, he was Captain America for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He was dangerous too. But at the same time, it just wouldn't have made sense for the movies. Like I don't see. Well, first of all, if the Avengers didn't split up and were officially not official after Endgame, and there was a chance for a Captain America to lead the team, they wouldn't listen to Bucky, or at least it'd be difficult. We know for a fact they would at least listen to Sam. We've seen Sam be able to be like, "Hey, Cap," in Civil War. And he's like, "Hey, Cap, this isn't the real fight. Go deal with this. We got it here." And he listens to him. Not so many people can tell Captain America, "Hey, man, go the other way. We got it." And he listens. So we already know there's at least some form of respect from Captain America to Sam. So their relationship between Steve and Sam is already a little more believable in the sense that, yeah, it would make sense for Sam to be Captain America. It just does. It makes more sense for Sam to be Captain America than Bucky in this version because of the circumstances of what we've seen leading up to what we are now. I just don't see Bucky, who was an ex-assassin, who was taking people out and picking people off, and it's known to the world that he's Winter Soldier in the MCU. I just don't see the government being okay with Bucky being Captain America. Because if that was the case, wouldn't they have picked him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier? But no, they picked John Walker because Sam didn't want it at the time. But then Sam realized he had to. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier, if Falcon and the Winter Soldier hadn't happened, I think Brave New World would have had more thematic sense for Sam's doubt. But he had already went through the doubt in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So that's where my issue rolls around. Because we see Sam kind of doubt again because his sidekick gets injured, and a lot of stuff's going to hell, and the handbasket real fast, which is very true. And him thinking that he should have taken a serum when he didn't need to. It all has some great character moments. If these weren't already kind of thematically done in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so that's kind of where the issue comes in for me. The other issue is I genuinely think you can kind of tell where the reshoots happened, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think it was reshot over and over again like everyone tried to make it seem to fuck the movie up. But I do believe that you can tell where the reshoots kind of happened in the film. That I do believe. Um, yeah. So what else was I gonna say? Story wise, I'm okay with the story. It was just a Sam's being Captain America for a little while. Seems like he's been Cap for a little bit since Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He's been just out here helping people left and right. People are okay with him being Captain America. The world seems to accept it. He goes through his little trial and tribulations. He has a sidekick, which he's not too adamant about at first, but then he's completely okay with it by the end. Completely okay with that because that's just what it is. I love the fact that the marketing for the movie made it seem like Ross was trying to get Captain America to be this like public entity that everyone should be on board with. And after watching the movie again, yeah, it makes sense that like he would want to rebuild the Avengers. Sam mentions he's responsible for the Avengers being torn apart in the first place. Ross thinks it over and they kind of talk it over, even though we know Ross is grimy as hell. But it actually makes sense, especially after seeing Thunderbolts. Like, it makes sense after seeing Thunderbolts because Ross's whole plan was trying to get the Avengers back together. He has his whole little falling out with the Red Hulk thing, which I'm annoyed how much they marketed Red Hulk for him to only be like 5 minutes of the movie. Um, then he goes through his crap. He gets locked up. Now we find out in Thunderbolts that Valentina might have was the new president. And now she's responsible for this whole thing with the Thunderbolts, trying to get them out the way because she has her bullshit. But then she, in one clever swoop, brings in and makes them the new Avengers. So they're operating out of Avengers Tower. So we have a new Avengers team, even if it's grimy. So it does fall into place why Brave New World went the way it went, how it ended with Sam saying he wants to form the Avengers. Then there's the end credit scene of Thunderbolts. If you haven't seen Thunderbolts already, that's on you, where Sam's annoyed because he's trying to get the Avengers back together, but then y'all are doing it. Now there's some beef between Sam and the new Avengers. So that's gold. Now we already know that. So I'm saying like Thunderbolts and Brave New World, if you watch them next to each other, they actually work well together. They actually work really well together. So there is some thematic, cinematic story between the two going together. Now we have to see where Fantastic Four falls after the end scene of the Thunderbolts as well. We have these things coming together. I think the only things is like the leader really didn't need to be there, but I guess they needed some way for Red Hulk to happen. So I guess he's there for that reason. Wasted Giancarlo Esposito, even if he puts on a cool performance, he's just should not have been Sidewinder. I mean, like, yeah, now we got the whole Serpent Society bullshit going on down low. Um, I think the Serpent Society might end up being nothing again, kind of like that power broker thing. Because that's what I thought was going to happen in Brave New World, like the power broker secretly behind all this stuff, but that wasn't revealed. So whatever, they might be leaving that behind. Cool. Uh, so we got a lot of things going on. It's not as bad as it could have been, and I do think that the action in Brave New World is some of the best low down action we've had in the MCU in a long time. I mean, Sam beats the hell out of those guys at the beginning of the movie. He takes a cinder block and just goes to town on the two dudes. And I'm just like, yo, this scene, this action, the action in Brave New World is phenomenal, in my opinion. And if the action is phenomenal, then I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? As long as the action wasn't trash, which it wasn't, it's just a really the action, yeah. That the action is definitely an A plus for me for Brave New World. It's violent. It's kind of dirty, even a little messed up. Suits get ruined. People get shot, stabbed, sliced, beat on. It's just a good time for me with Brave New World as far as the action goes. Now, like I said, my issues come in with, like I said, Falcon and the Winter Soldier already kind of did this thing with Sam, but it was a little bit more different because it seems like now these things that happened in Brave New World were kind of like Sam's fault, even if he wasn't intending for them to be, like Isaiah getting arrested and things like that. So that was a great thing. I love that part. Um, the Celestial thing really isn't that important. Like it's there because it needed to be, but they also did something I kind of assumed they were going to do. If you hadn't seen Brave New World yet, again, that's on you. Where the Celestials have adamantium. I knew they were going to do that because I was like, that's the only way they could explain adamantium not being around this long. So I was like, it's a smart play, but sure. Damn, it's a lot to talk about with this movie, honestly. Uh, but the Celestial all together didn't really matter. There's like a fight scene on the Celestial, like in the Celestial where the Indian Ocean is. But outside of that, it didn't matter. Now, one thing I will say should have happened in the movie that I think would have made the movie flow a little bit better. I wish there was more of a flashback of what Stearns went through. I think that would have fleshed him out just a little bit more. Like we remember him from the Incredible Hulk back in the day, but we also hadn't seen him in 16 years, and they kind of try to explain it. But I do wish there was more of a like, hey, here's a flashback. Here's some of the stuff he went through. They might have tortured him. We don't know. Lies, everything. I would have loved to see those flashbacks between him and Ross because that would have helped. And the other thing that I'll say is in the Indian Ocean, on the Arbiter, I wish he did Red Hulk there and we didn't see it, but we know what happened. So I think the part where he's like going crazy and he's about to Red Hulk and it's about to happen, but he stops, he should have Red Hulk there. But we don't see it. We just see that he tore ass around the whole place and then he's just gone. That would have been good. I think that would have been a really good way for us to be like, okay, he Red Hulk, but he's going to try to hide it, and then he Red Hulks again at the White House, which would have gave us a little bit more like, okay, Dad, this is lit, yo. Because yeah, that whole thing happened. I will say on a side note, Anthony Mackie does a great job. I think they give Sam his leadership role while fleshing out more of him trying to adjust to being a leader, while him still adjusting to being Captain America. And Anthony Mackie does a great job with what they give him. Harrison Ford, also phenomenal. He did way more of a performance than I thought he was going to. He just did so well. And I was like, damn, Harrison Ford, like you really pulled up for this Joan. Like you was really not playing no games. But all right, let's get it. Spoiler alert, I do like the fact that they got Liv Tyler back for one scene. I mean, maybe we will see Liv Tyler again, mentioning Banner from The Incredible Hulk. So I hope we see Liv Tyler again because I thought she was precious in The Incredible Hulk. We just don't see her again. So that was nice. Yeah, the all in all, Brave New World's fine. It's not breaking any barriers. It's not the best MCU movie, like I said, but it damn sure ain't the worst. Um, don't let people dictate how you're going to feel about a film. If you're scared to say you like it, but I don't love the movie, but I don't hate the movie. I actually enjoy some of it for what it is, but it's not like like I said, it's not the best thing ever. But again, you guys been here with me. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe for more. And if you don't like the video, still subscribe to the channel because I'm doing way more videos beyond this. And I hope to see y'all on the next one.